Howdy folks, welcome to the Daily Coin. My name is Rory and today is Sunday, December 22nd, 2019, and I have the very distinct honor and great pleasure of welcoming a new guest to the show, and he is the CEO and president of a gold mining company that I had not heard of before, but their projects look really incredible, and I think that we're gonna get into that in just a minute. And Mr. Farshad Shirvani, he has been for the past 22 years, he's had a solid geological experience in mineral exploration. You can take a look at his bio right there on the screen. He has been, he was on the board of directors, or is on the board of directors for 7 years with gold producer Barkerville Gold Mines, and Barkerville Gold Mines has just recently sold to Osisco Gold Royalties, and that company sold for $389 million. And you can find Osisco listed on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol OR. And I'm very happy and very excited to be speaking with the president and CEO of Double View, and you can find all the information over at doubleview.ca. And the president and CEO is kind enough to take time out. Farshad Shirvani, welcome to the Daily Coin.
Hi, Rory. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am so grateful. We had just a great pre-call conversation, and we got into all kinds of good stuff. And I wish that I would have recorded it so that I could share it with the audience, but alas, it is lost to history. But we have some good stuff to talk about right here. And one of the things that's been happening, Farshad, is that gold has really broken out in 2019. It's been kind of bouncing around in this kind of, I don't know, it looks like 1465 up to 1480 range for the past 2 or 3 weeks, but otherwise it's been a really solid year for gold. And how do you see this playing out over the next, say, 5 years? Do you think how do you see gold moving? Do you think that it's already done, it's gotten as high as it's going to go? Do you think it's going higher? How do you see the gold market acting over the next, say, 5 years?
Thank you first for having me here, Rory. It's a pleasure to talk to your viewers. I have been in the gold market for the past 25 years, followed that along with people in the market that they made a fortune out of this. And I remember in 2003, I had a conversation with Mr. Jim Bayless. He's passed on, and he talked about gold, and he said, look, in 2003 we were talking, and he said, watch it, by August the gold is going to be 300 some. He gave me a number, I guess $320, and it was 240. For years it was just downplaying 250, and I said, oh my God, again. What happened? In 2003 we started the bull market. 360 going on all the way you saw it. It was a big jump. We jumped all the way to 1800. Then when I look back, if you look at this graph, on this graph you see back in those days we had the dot-coms prevailing the market. When you compare it with now, we have other things than gold, like blockchain and all the other markets like marijuana in Canada they're prevailing and they're grabbing a lot of attention out of the market. That's why we don't see people going towards gold. But about mid-year this year, about June, July, I saw a jump, and I saw this trend is ending from all the other material in the market. They were going away, like marijuana. I saw an article 2 days ago on CNBC saying what's happening with such and such. I don't want to name those companies. With them, are they vanishing? The market cap going from $13.5 billion to $3 billion. Is it vanishing? Is it going away? Yes, because gold is the standard between the societies, and it has to stay. And the attention is coming back to it. Why are we seeing this 1470, 1480 around that, hovering around that? This is the bottom for gold value. It was undervalued 6 months ago. Now, in my understanding, and I believe that the gold market is starting for a 10-year run to go from here, and it's going to create the next level for gold. The number, if it repeats $250 to $1,900, $1,800, you can imagine $1,500. Where is the top now? Where is the next level? And it happens gradually, as it happened in the past 6 months. We're going to see this gradual trend happening, but when the train has left the station, it has left the station. And we are going to see higher values in gold. The other thing is, in the world today, we see problems around Middle East, problems around China, Russia, and the whole world. What are you going to do? You got to have gold, because gold is something as shown that you can put it in your pocket with a kilogram and or be safe. You don't need a bank, you don't need the maintenance, and has shown throughout the centuries that only increases in value, and only people have it will carry the value with themselves.
Exactly. And you and I were speaking, and I want to pull a little piece out of there, and we were talking about you are from Iran, and part of the Iranian culture is gold. And that's a big piece of what you were just, that last comment that you were making, as far as people, if you own gold, if you possess gold, then you are protected. And that's why I think that I agree completely that we're seeing a shift from what people were looking at before, as far as stocks, blockchain, investments that are on a screen only, to more tangible, more physical items. And I think that I agree that people are going to begin, it's already started, but not in earnest. And I agree that the next decade we're going to see that awakening for gold to really take root. And part of what I think is going to happen also, Farshad, is the Federal Reserve, as you're well aware, I'm sure, with their manipulation of the dollar, that's not really setting too well with a lot of people. And the Fed has come out and said that they're not going to raise interest rates in all of 2020, which I don't believe. But on the other side, they've said we're going to inject $1 billion over the next month into these failing banks. And what type of impact do you think that that's going to have on gold?
One of the things you're going to see when that kind of actions happens from the Federal Reserves around the world, in Canada, US, and even in Middle East, people will go towards the gold because by printing more money, you're devaluing the dollar. Even though the dollar you see is strong, supposedly is backed by gold, but it's not. But you, at some point, we see the shortage of gold and excess number of dollars. Especially, I see China in the next 2-3 years. They definitely will go towards gold, and they're going to shift from US dollars to their own currency and European currency and gold, mostly towards gold because it's safer, they can see it, it's not dependent and printed in another country.
And it's, if you hold it, then you have it.
They have it.
Exactly.
They have it. They can physically touch it.
Right.
And it's a very big phenomenon. Now you
Very
said
big.
about Iranians and Middle East and those countries. Gold has been the pillar of the societies in Middle East from ancient years. This gold has been the basis of communication, relationship, and transactions, trades, about 3,000 years ago. And it doesn't lose its luster, its value, and never rot, and no one can say, okay, this dollar, the same as dollars or the other notes, doesn't have value anymore. We're going to print new ones. It always stays the same.
Exactly. Always the same. I want to shift gears a little bit, and there's been some real serious action in the mining sector for about a year now. And this has been part of my overall analysis of why I believe that gold is going to go a lot higher. And we're starting to see these mergers and acquisitions. It started at the top with the majors, with Barrick and Newmont, and then the Rand and whoever, I can't even remember who was that second merger was, but I know Rand Gold was involved. And now we're starting to see second level mergers and acquisitions with Continental Gold, who was acquired by Xinjiang Mining, Chinese giant, and Kirkland Lake bought Detour Gold. So we're starting to see mergers and acquisitions happen. I mean, I know what I think that it means. What do you think that it's signaling?
It's very simple. When you see activities happening in any sector in the economy and in the business around the world, it shows there are things happening. And majority of these major mining companies, they have very savvy, large analysts that they work on predictions of what's happening in the next 10 years. That's why they take actions and movements like this. All these actions and movements that you've seen in Continental Gold, Xinjiang, or Kirkland Lake, Detour, or all the other ones, they're happening because these are the smoke. We haven't seen the fire yet.
Right.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. I predict that because of the distress that we've seen in the resource industry, gold market, silver, copper, in the past 15 years, this deficit in activities is going to create a humongous activity in the next 2-3 years to 15 years. Could last 15 years and never die down. We haven't had gold production. Major mining companies are seeing that we're not going to have major gold mines found in the world. Copper the same, silver the same. whatever we see is what we see. There's no new discovery except ours in 2014, 2015, hopefully near future, another one. But we haven't seen much, basically almost none. And that creates a deficit. The money will flow into it, the hype will start, and I believe next year we have the best gold market starting that no one has seen it in centuries.
Wow. I haven't been saying centuries, but I know I've been saying, I'm on record for a couple of years now saying that 2020 was going to be a banner year and that things were really going to start to shake up and shake out, and we're going to see some major movement in both the gold and silver markets. And Double View, which is a company that you are very involved with, and their ticker in Canada is DBV, and in the U.S. it's DBLVF. And one of the projects that you guys have going on is hat, gold, copper, porphyry. I know I'm butchering that, but you can look at it. You can see it right there on the screen. It's located in Canada, and I think that you've got something that is really special coming up, right, Farshad? Or am I wrong in that?
My excitement. I express my excitement after this. I give you a little bit of my background, why I started Double View and what happened. About 25 years ago, I started working in the mining industry right in downtown Vancouver. I did modeling for major miners, small, little companies. And about 2005, I started thinking about it. I was doing really well in consulting. I was doing absolutely the best. And I sort of, destiny sent me to be on the board of Barkerville Gold Mines. I learned when we were working on Barkerville Gold Mines how to put packages together, how to expand, even the worst conditions that the whole economy had seen. We put ground together, we had several discoveries, put mills into operation. We had, it was very exciting and very pleasing to see gold and how you create wealth. And a human being is always, as a human being, I love to find things. I love to go after luxury and things. So I said, okay, why don't I go after my own discovery? And I set up this Double View. After we set up, I found several projects. Amongst all of them, the moment I saw Hat Project, I said, this is it. I got to go for it. Several reasons were after it, because porphyries are, maybe your listeners don't know much about it. Porphyries are large, low grade, but they tend and they end very beautiful, high grade at depth, and they become really beautiful. The same as Grassberry. Grassberry, at the end of it, is about 8 kilometers deep, and the grade of copper and gold at the top has been 0.2, 0.1 at the surface. At the bottom, they are in 2 ounces per ton, 4.8% copper. It gets richer as they go deeper. And I said, this is it. This is what I love. This is what I like to go. Relatively lower risk, higher reward, and humongous reward. So we started working on the hat. I'm not that smart to predict what's in there. The number of samples on the surface were so many of them. As I said, where there is smoke, there's fire. So I started working on that. I took initiative myself, invested in it myself. I didn't have the money, by the way. I had to mortgage the house, and I did because I believed in the project. I did it several times to move the project forward. We had very good results back in 2016, 2015. And then it was unbelievable at the time, but the gold market wasn't there. I had at times 110 meters of 1.2 grams gold equivalent on this project, which is splendid in a gold porphyry project because it's the volume making the numbers. The porphyries are going anywhere up to 7, 10 million ounces, 20 million ounces. You know, the sky's the limit, how deep you go. And these are unbelievable projects. So I had that. It was really encouraging. In fact, I'm coming out of a drilling program that we just finished it recently. We haven't shut it down yet, but we're going to shut down in the next couple of days. And I am very pleased, excited about that. And we will see what we've done in coming year, just the beginning of the year on this project.
Yeah, you're going to, and that's at the very beginning of the year, so just in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, I'm hoping in the 2, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we're going to have announcements that I believe I haven't seen it on that, but you know, assays are going to give the results. We have to wait for that, but okay. I am very optimistic and I love it.
Well, that's good, because if you're seeing the results that you were just talking about, and you say you've got something up your sleeve, well, I can't wait to see what you got up your sleeve. So sounds like it might be worth checking back on and see what's going on.
Yes, definitely. I encourage you to check on that, definitely.
Yes, and you'll be able to find out all that over at doubleview.ca. And it sounds like, Farshad, that you are heavily invested in this project. You said you took out multiple mortgages on the house, and I really like hearing that. So am I right? I mean, in that you are very heavily invested in this?
Absolutely. Myself and my family, we own more than 25, up to about 30% when I was doing the math yesterday. Wow. On this project myself. Some people are telling me, you know, one has to be out of his mind to put money from mortgage into the project. But my answer to them is that I haven't done gambling. Not only that, I have taken minimal risk on that because I saw the project and I see where it's going, and I'm looking at one of the largest gold copper porphyry footprints perhaps in BC, British Columbia, Canada.
Now, we started this part of the conversation with the mergers and acquisitions that are going on out there. I mean, is that what you see with this project down the road? I mean, it sounds like that it's going to be very attractive to some of the larger companies that are out there that are desperate for gold. Because personally, I think, Farshad, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from everything that I can see and what I've been reading and hearing from other people is that when I see these majors beginning to merge, that tells me that there's real problems within those companies being able to find new projects. So instead of finding new projects, they just acquire one another. Or am I seeing that wrong? So a company with Hat Gold, I mean, it sounds like that you guys are going to be in a great position to look very attractive to these people. Or am I not seeing this right?
You see it absolutely right, and I'm very shocked that you know it. When I post an article on our LinkedIn, my LinkedIn, I see a lot of viewers are coming in. When I look at the viewers, the top 10 viewers on my project with several people on them are all major mining companies, and almost all of them, they acquired new projects in the world and they're coming there. It's if you look at our news releases, so this is something I can disclose. Yes, several major mining companies already have phoned me during this past few weeks and talking to me. And even before I release the data and what I'm doing, and I see, yes, next year I see all of these people who have phoned me to come across. Of course, a couple of them have given us soft offers too, which I haven't accepted yet. And I'm looking into all of those, but I will get one of the best so it works for all the shareholders, one to be myself.
Well, I mean, I would hope you'd be looking out for yourself. I mean, if you got 25-30% of the overall, that's something to look out for. And if these
Absolutely.
guys aren't, if they're not bringing the right type of offer, then I'm sure that come February, March of 2020, that tune will probably change, and they'll probably be looking at bigger numbers to try to get your attention. But and you guys have just some great projects going on, all of which you can see right there on the screen. I've got them all laid out so you can take a look. And Farshad, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience before we get out of here?
Yes, I'd like to tell the audience that we're going to have news releases coming in the new year, and I'm hoping that this news release to be very exciting for all of us. I'm already excited about it. I hope I'm right, and we go forward into 2020, and I believe 2020 is the year that is going to leave a lot of people in the dust of the other markets, and everybody is going to come to resource industry. And I encourage you to go to our website at doubleview.ca and take a look at all the material in there. If you have questions, don't be hesitant. Email me, myself. I answer to emails at farshad@doubleview.ca, or phone our office. I'm always pleased to answer all your calls and comments at 604-678-9587. And I will give you, to the best of my knowledge, any information you need about our company or gold market, gold, silver, copper market, and to communicate with you.
That sounds great, and I will make sure that all of the links and the information necessary to get in touch with you are in the description box below the video. And I certainly appreciate all your time today, Farshad. This has been great. I'm very excited about what you guys have coming up, and I look forward to speaking with you in the not too distant future to get an update on what you're releasing. So to find out how well it's going.
Thank you, Rory, for having me here. Exciting times are coming in the gold market.
Yes, I agree completely. And Farshad, I certainly appreciate it. Have yourself a great afternoon. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.